Hey folks, Fable here. That's right, Cartesia is honorary Dark World with the help of Branded Spirit, which is also honorary Dark World with my branded card. And here's why. But before we begin, here's the deck list and take a screenshot of it and let's begin. So that's basically what Cartesia can do for you because she is a tuner. But first I'm going to show you this duel showcasing Branded Spirit and its synergy with Dark World because it counts for discard for effect, allowing you to trigger things like Snow as you see here while adding you potential draw power or Cartesia herself to go into your synchro plays or exceeds plays. Right, so because this is a very long combo, keep in mind that I will time out or I can possibly time out if I take too long. And here I am playing on a specific engine, or rather a specific card, because they have something disruptible, whether that was the Bestial or Imperm. But otherwise, yeah, this was a pretty fun and, well, weird awkward duel because I timed out. Right, I forgot to mention, you rarely normal summon in Dark Worlds because you're doing so much discarding for effect, such as the case with Beige or the other Gold or Luther. But otherwise, your only normal summon in this entire deck would just be the Cartesia herself, which is totally fine because she offers you fusion plays, synchro plays, or even exceeds play based on what you need, and that's really strong for Dark World because they don't have a lot of options outside of just links and exceeds, and of course their own fusion. So that's why she's really strong in Dark Worlds and something you should probably consider trying out yourself. And this was again my own experimentation. But yeah, enjoy the rest of this duel here. So around this time, timer was really tight, and around like 60 seconds left to continue my combos. I wasn't done, of course, but given the fact I closed both links due to Sprite Elf's arrows, I wasn't able to go to my IP Masquerade for my final disruption. So unfortunately, I have to just pass with the coach searching and just setting whatever I searched. And unfortunately, because I drew the Super Poly and not having a lot of options for Super Poly in this version, I wasn't able to disrupt enough with that. And that eventually led to my downfall, of course, but it was fine regardless because I knew they were trying to end on Zeus, which is okay since I can recover quite easily while they have to take a lot more resources to build. And it's like, of course, it's against a Sprite player, so just dealing with their level 2s and whatnot just hurts them quite a bit. But as you can see, they're going to go for the Zeus play, And then I'm going to time out at this point because I just don't have enough time to go for effect. But that's basically this first duel here, and it was quite hilarious on my end. Now in the second duel, I will be showcasing the power of Cartesia, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to use my Lord of Darkness. Unfortunately, thanks to it, I was able to open the Branded Spirit, meaning now I can search my Cartesia while this card is loosened, and loosened is going to revive itself because it was discarded for effect. Now my one normal summon will just be that Cartesia. Marthman unfortunately did not discard the rainbow, but now Nessie is able to search me another danger name, which is totally fine. Now here, I'm playing on a specific card, which is Imperm, because I know they had Imperm. So before I go into my actual Chaos roleplay, I'm going to have to first set up potential disruption. In this case, Cartesia is able to set up that disruption by fusing the Graphite Search off Rainbow plus the Grapha plus Rainbow itself to make me, of course, Grapha Overlord. Now that if they try to imperm me, they can't, because then I get more options to discard, right? For effect on their turn, triggering other issues, right? So now I'm going to go with Chaos Roller. Chaos is going to try mill potential cards, and unfortunately here I did not get lucky, and yeah, so I was only able to add the Nessie here, mill everything else, but that's okay. I can still recover with this. Now I'm going to go link off into my Frost. Now Cross, you don't have to fusion summon under it to get the effect, as long as there's a fusion monster point that the arrow is pointing to, and you special summon under the other arrow, you can still gain the effect. So Cross is going to revive back my Cartesia that I used, and Loosen is going to revive itself because of this card. This will give me access to Baron de Cure, which is another negate, and then I can just pass with this and go with an Appaloosa, right? I'm trying to go a little further because I want to. So Gates is going to draw me a card, while Snow is going to add me another Dark Road name. I unfortunately drew Grapha, and unfortunately I added Genta by accident, knowing that I already milled 2 field spells, so I was not able to use Genta here in terms of searching for the next potential draw. So I'm going to make Skull Dread to see if I can recover from this, and hopefully it was able to. Now here I misplay again by returning the Allure instead of just using Allure on my Genta to revive itself and draw 2 for free. So that's a misplay on my part, but now I'm under timer pressure because this combo again was taking too long, because I know they had a disruption, which was the Imperm. And so they decided most likely just save that Imperm for their own follow-up, which is totally fine. That means they turn off their toggle, and at this point I'm just going to make the Aftermath Masquerena and just pass with this, because this is still enough disruption anyway. And then Cartesia just recycles herself because the fusion was sent to the graveyard. That's basically a simplified turn 1 board you can think about when trying to play Dark Horse, instead of having the inconsistency of just the danger engines plus some draw power, because that does lead into more RNG. So again, this is another Sprite player, and they're just going to try to disrupt me with the Imperm, but I'm going to have to say no to that. And they're going to foolish at this point. I know they're foolishing for the Angler, so I'm going to go make the Appaloosa. That's why I negate with Baron. So Baron is going to be fodder for my Appaloosa. Now when they try to go for Angler Pitch, I'm going to negate that. That way they're forced to deal my Appaloosa now, while still under Grapha for potential disruption along with the Appaloosa. So there's the Angler. I have to negate that because that's 2 free bodies for them to go into the Sprite Gigantic, which I do not want. Now they have to deal with stuff in their hand, so they're going to go Nimble Beaver. Now I decided to go with Grapha because I want to send the Grapha from my hand to pop the Nimble, because that was a normal summon. Now they have to rely on Star, which I'm assuming they did not open with, because I did not register another quick play. But they have an evenly match, so they're going to go for evenly. At this point I'm just going to banish my Grapha, but unfortunately because it's face down, I cannot activate its effect to revive the other Grapha, and they just pass for that. And that's basically game right there. Now this last duel is against Labyrinth, and I am going second here. So Labyrinth this season, or rather probably going forward, is going to be quite a floodgate heavy deck, searching things like the viruses cards that do disrupt your hand quite a bit, especially if they open Eradicator plus the deck destruction virus, I believe. And it's quite detrimental because if they go first and you don't have an answer to that, you can possibly lose your entire hand, and that means you may not have plays going forward, and it sucks. So for me, I hope, what do you guys think? Like for me personally, I think that the virus card should have an errata to go to continuous traps instead of being normal traps, and still retain the same effect but be more fair that they're not free searches for them to do stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm going to try and break through this board, and they look like, I think they're going to try to Eradicator me here and see what happens. And at this point, yeah, they're going to Eradicator, so they're going to search for the lady's going to search for the Eradicator and Eradicator my gate, which will basically shut down all spells that I add, meaning my Genta is pretty much dead in terms of searching. But for banish sakes, the only I can banish is through a Lord of Darkness, so that's really sucks. Or Chaos Road, but I didn't open with that either. So yeah, anyway, that's basically Labyrinth for you guys, and luckily for me, I did manage to win this one because they didn't have enough ways to disrupt me. And that's basically about it. But yeah, enjoy the rest of this duel.